This is our patient, 3-liter 2000 e46, 3-liter M54. What's happening? Rough idle when it's cold, underpowered, and it's burning too much fuel. It's automatic. First thing I noticed is this. There's a hose missing going to the fuel pressure regulator, so someone just put the screw to stop the air leak. The hose is actually missing, so I need to order a new one or make something to make this engine working properly. Another thing, there was a leak on the DISA O-ring. The O-ring around it wasn't actually, how to say it, existing. There was some silicone around it, but it was like flush with the rim. Another thing, whole CCV kit needs to be done. It's leaking and you can hear it's not great. Owner had a fault auto sensor, and we know if auto sensor is showing something, leave it, inspect everything before you change the auto sensor. He did actually change the auto sensor, and guess what? Yes, it didn't help at all, because the problem was probably caused by the leak, air leak, and Vanos maybe as well. At idle, actually at idle you don't have to even rev it up to hear it loud rattling, probably seals as well. That's why whole kit is ordered. And some kind of oil leak. I see a lot of oil under the car, on the tray, which is supporting tray under the car, so I suspecting oil filter housing gasket, plus the dipstick owner mentioned there was some kind of problem. Maybe the seal, the O-ring is fine, but the fitment wasn't done properly. That's why I'm gonna check it as well. So to get the like I said, probably I'm gonna start with Vanos, do the Vanos, put it back together. Later I will remove the intake, sort out the intake, DISA flat, DISA O-ring, check other things. Maybe there's some kind of O-ring leak, bad O-ring. I will replace that. I got some spares, I think. Remove the fan to get to the Vanos. Actually pretty big job. So this is the full set I was gonna be replacing today. So Vanos seals, Vanos gasket, DISA O-ring, oil filter housing gasket, DISA plate, and CCV full kit. So because I'm gonna be doing so many things, I will be removing the manifold, intake manifold. It will be a lot easier to check other things, because this car have some issues. So instead of sticking my hand somewhere, I'm just gonna check everything, probably clean some bits and pieces, and that's it. To remove this fan, surround, shroud, whatever, you need to remove the fan itself, which is old type, which is visco clutch. Usually you put 32mm spanner long enough and hit it with the hammer, but actually I was scared I didn't have long enough spanner for that, but literally this went off with my fingers, and literally with fingers, nothing else. So it's coming off. If it's loose, I'm gonna pull it up with the surround, with the plastic. So how to remove Vanos, I did on my channel already, but I'm just gonna refresh you. Oil feed line, oil pressure line, 19mm spanner, 2 washers. Be careful, don't lose them, they have to go back in the same order. Of course the valve cover, which is pretty easy. You remove all the coils later, all the nuts holding the valve cover. Later 11mm socket, socket or spanner, then a 13 over here, which is 1 bolt holding thermostat. Also this ear or eye for the lifting of the engine. later 10 mil, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 small nuts, of course with the valve cover off, Vanos. And then inside you have to remove 2 caps. Later you can have access to 2 bolts connecting Vanos pistons to Vanos camshafts. I mean the camshafts of the engine. So it's not difficult, but you need to have your engine cold. That's the good thing to do. You're not gonna damage your aluminium block or cylinder head. Pretty easy. So I promised the owner to check the timing as well on this car. Here we have. See guys, this is why I don't recommend using silicone for gaskets, because this thing can end up in your oil, and later you know what can happen, because like I said, maybe I said or not, those gaskets are covered, I think, with Teflon, and you don't need to use any silicones between them. No, someone actually used them only here, so that's not bad, but he used too much and you saw stuff hanging just waiting to be dropped and suck with the oil. I do recommend oil change for this car, however owner didn't want to. He might do it himself, I don't know, but I hate to use a silicone. So guys, I opened up the Vanos, which is pretty simple procedure. Like I said, there's a video on my channel. However, one chamber, another chamber, two pistons inside. You just undo the bolts, you open up the covers, two pistons sits inside, and that's the first problem with the Vanos, that seals inside. They're brittle, crushed down, they don't seal properly. Have a look at how this piston is actually moving. It's not sealing anything, same as this one. That's why you're losing power. Vanos doesn't have power. The oil pressure is escaping here instead of pushing the piston. That's why you can't have the full change of the timing. That's why you're losing power. So now I will clean this up. Probably gonna remove those solenoids and spray them with brake cleaner inside, because the oil in here wasn't great. And later I will open up these caps. Inside there's a, well, you can't feel the rattle because there's oil inside, but I can, if I push this side, there's like loads of play, so I will have to spend a lot of time on sanding the rings down to make this piston tight again. Not tight, but just delete the play on this piston, on both of them. And on the end I will change the seals, which are hard as rock. I got new sets. It's not from Bging Systems, but the company who made them actually tested what kind of material is it, and they copy that the best way. So this is the copy of a copy, but this is not cheap eBay stuff. It's a bit more expensive, and they look actually different. So they look like this. How they're gonna perform, how long, you're gonna see. But new set is better than the old set. So, but first I need to clean this up. So guys, this is the piston after treatment. It still needs some more sanding, but not a lot like this one, which is before treatment. That's why you're getting rattle, because the piston, the bearing inside is like screaming and shouting. It got too much play. So what we need is to get something like that. It still needs to have some play to be able to spin around, so the bearing is not tight too much, but this is too much. This Vanos is actually bad. I mean, those bearings inside, I had to treat this ring. I'll explain you how this works. I had to treat that bearing with 40 grit sandpaper, later with 80. So what basically is, you have this assembly of bearings, this washer, another bearing, and you sandwich everything down with this. So what we need, because this washer is wearing out, so it's actually going down inside and having play. So what we need to do, I did already video about that, but we need to do is sand this ring down a little bit so they can touch this washer again and have no play. I almost get rid of the still a little bit, that's why I need to treat it a bit more. If I go too far and if I put the bearings inside and the piston won't be spinning, it will be too much, I can sand this a little bit to free up these bearings, so no problem with that. If you go too far, you can always go back. Now to smooth the edges, I will use 600. Clean everything. Just now I'm gonna check and later clean. Put some oil inside. I think it's perfect. I need to clean it now, clean inside, assemble that and go to piston number 2. When I finish with piston number 2, remove the seals, put new one in, and that's gonna be it. Later, probably different video, I'm gonna do manifold leaks, oil leaks, air leaks, DISA, flap, etc, etc. So after grinding, I checked the play, there's no play, only side to side, that's normal. Now I'm installing, I removed the old ones, installing the new seals. You can have them soaked in hot water to make them softer. I tried to avoid that to see if they're gonna go or not without. Okay, they went without problem. Quick blow with compressed air. Now best is to insert the first piston. It will be difficult, however I'm gonna get oil, place them in later like that. Second piston, again some lubrication. Don't forget about the spring. I will find the spring, put it on and secure them with bolts, and Vanos will be ready.